Don't you cry, I'm not dead yet. Don't you cry, I'm not dead yet. I thank you for the overwhelming love and response that you showed me in the comments to the post that I made of leaving YouTube. I'm not going to reconsider it, but taking all the love and affection that I've received from there, very humbling, honestly. I might, I don't know, maybe post infrequently. Maybe I'll consider, I'll see. I don't want to set anything in stone. I I am here just to show you this samagri that I've prepared for a ritual. If you notice my posts, I recently went to Pangot, to a place called Gili Mitti, and the kind people over there taught us how to make sustainable architecture, let's say. How to make, how to relearn, how to unlearn firstly the things that you have always known about building and living and houses and all of that, and how to relearn the definition from all the habits, all the scientific knowledge that human beings have always had. So that's what we did over there. We learned how to build more sustainable houses, more earth-friendly houses. And one of the ways that you can do that is by building, by creating cob houses, right? Cob is a structure that is made up of the ingredients that you see in front of you. So there's a little bit of sand, there's a little bit of clay soil. This is from outside my garden. It's very clay. It's very clay soil. So I think it might be 30% clay. I don't know the percentages to all these things. I can only estimate intuitively by touching and seeing that, yeah, this must be 30% clay. So I might not need sand. I might not need to add sand to bind it together with the straw. Sorry, long story. I'm diverting from the topic. But cob is a structure that is made up of these three ingredients. Straw, which over here I am using cocoa coir cut up into 1-inch pieces to simulate the size of straw that you would have used if you were making a cob house on a major scale, something for a person of the average size to live in. So trying to simulate it by cutting up into small 1-inch pieces of cocoa coir with the soil that I collected from the garden, which is clay dominant anyway. And there's some water that I'm going to use, and yes, and these are ice cream sticks, and I think these are wooden skewers or whatever you call them, toothpicks, large toothpicks. So they are, I thought that I might use them by using it to build an armature of some sort and build the structure of the house around it. But now I'm thinking that maybe I should not build an armature. Maybe I should just try to see if I get the consistency right first, and make, just small brick-like pieces, and see if it dries well. If it, if it's, if it functions, if it does what it's supposed to do, if it binds together well, if it dries well, I can use it. Then I can take another batch and maybe build it around an armature. So I just want to understand how the consistencies go first before I cover nice little ice cream sticks with a lot of clay. So that's the idea anyway. And I hope to understand, if I can understand the mixing of the ratios and how the structure is going to look, if I can perceive it in a smaller scale, then obviously I can, in theory, somewhat replicate it, with a lot of issues maybe, but somewhat replicate it at a major scale as well. Mind you, I'm not an architect. I'm not someone who has any training in arts and crafts, because that's what it is, like cooking, like arts and craft, a lot of samagri, ingredients, rituals. That's what they are, like small little rituals. So I don't have any training in all these things. I'm not an architect by profession, so I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just intuitively following the flow, and wherever it guides me, wherever it teaches me, And I realized that the knowledge that I had implemented that I had garnered in the hills should not be just knowledge in my mind that I can immediately replicate it on a big scale, because I obviously can't. I can't straight away go ahead and start building a home. I need to understand how to do it on a smaller scale first. So it's a lot like model building, really. It's a lot like sculpting. That's why they're all interlinked. All these sciences are interlinked. All these artistic forms are interlinked. There's very little difference between science and art, to be very honest. So, one might see it as architecture, one might see it as sculpting, modeling, pottery, so many things. Gardening, I didn't have to go anywhere to get the sand, for example. It was in my gardening samagri, right? I have some sand, some perlite, some cinder, things like that used in different permutations and combinations provide the adequate growing medium for different varieties of plants. So I had that lying around over there, and this I got. So everything is available, just around me. I don't really need to go anywhere to do anything. Everything is just there around me, like the shaligram, like my danda. That's another thing that I would highly advise for you to do, to reassess the things that are around you and see whether, do you really need something from the outside? Do you not have everything that you need around you? Whatever you want to create, whatever you want to do, some jugaad is available somewhere. This is all jugaad, yes. But that doesn't take away the understanding and the effort that you will garner, the experience that you will garner from partaking in that jugaad. To realize that this can be made over here, this can be done over there, and that you don't need to go too far to find home. Wherever your heart is. So, let's hope that I am able to build a small home over here and then understand the physics and the dynamics that go into play in constructing, where to distribute the weight, and how to make a structure stay stable, how much rain is too much rain, because I can use a sprinkler and sprinkle it on the structure that I build and see how much rain it can bear. I can change the temperature around it and see how much cold or heat it can bear. I can do a lot of things with the small model that I create, that then I can understand how to replicate on a major scale, which is the aim inherently. That's what I want to do. I want to make beautiful things. That's all that I want to do. Whatever I see beauty in, at the very least, subjectively, whatever my understanding of beauty is. So, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to obsess myself with this new project of mine. Because if I don't do something new, creation requires creation. Alright, something needs to be created at some point. Everything needs to be created at some point. Creation needs to happen constantly. Alright, something needs to be constantly created. Human beings are co-creators with the divine. We're not supposed to be stagnant beings who just sit all day and do nothing. We've got a beautiful body to express ourselves with, to dance and to create, to use your hands and use your body and create things with your voice, and create things with your hands, and create things in general. Right? All the things. That's what God is, right? God is a creator. He created us. He created this beautiful world. That humanity in our descent and our fall has turned it into this hideous being that it is today. There's nowhere on earth that is not filthy at this point. This is one of the filths. This is one of the filths. Filthy things, really. Such an eyesore. They immediately distract you from the beauty of things. Another thing that I've been trying to do since I have come back is to reduce my waste. Is to recycle almost everything that I can recycle. To have a separate bin for organic waste and for plastic waste and for other varieties of waste. So, organizing things, putting them in their right places, using them in their right proportions. It's a lot like cooking, isn't it? And this is all the cooking ingredients. These are all the art supplies that you need. You can view it as anything, really. So yeah, this is mitti. I'm playing with mitti. For the next few days, I'll be playing with mitti, and let's see what I manage to create.